What's up everybody, Leaf here, and today I want to bring you a new tutorial video on movement. As you know, Dissidia NT is a 3 vs 3 fighter, and so the name of the game, if you want to be successful, is Spatial Awareness. So as you might imagine, mastering character movement is a big deal, and it will go a long way to helping you become really good at the game. So I'm going to pick Zidane and try to show you some of the basics of movement, and go over some more particular topics as well. If you haven't played the game before, I'm going to try to hit all the bases for you, and even if you have, there may be something here that you haven't heard of before. I'm going to try to keep this brief, so let's hop right in. As you know, you can freely walk around. Now in most fighting games, there is some merit to walking, and that remains for this game as well, and I'll get to it in just a moment. You can also dash by pressing R1, and there are two types of dash. There's free dash, where if you're holding a direction, you're able to dash anywhere you want to, and there's also lock-on dash, where if you're not holding a direction, you will fly straight to the person you were locked onto. So the first difference with that is you can immediately act out of walking, and that's usually the benefit of walking in most fighting games. I can attack out, I can shield out immediately, and I can sidestep out immediately. With dashing, if you just started dashing, there is a cooldown period before you can act again. So this is the fastest I can change direction by dashing in a different direction. So the same cooldown period applies to shielding and jumping and sidestepping. So that's the earliest I can shield out of dash, it's the earliest I can jump out of dash, and it's the earliest I can sidestep out of dash. However, I can attack out of dash immediately, and I'll show you. See, I started to dash, and I immediately attacked. So dashing, there is a meter, and when it runs out, you will stop, and you will be vulnerable for a moment. It's not too bad on the ground. All you have to do is touch the ground to refill your dash meter, like so. However, if you're in the air when you run out of dash meter, it's a little bit worse, because you will have to fall all the way to the ground to refill it. Now you're not completely helpless. There are things you can do in the air while your dash meter is empty, things that don't consume dash at all, and I'll show you that stuff. And I'll also show you how, well, I'll just explain to you that even if your dash meter was empty, you'd be able to do these things. So I'm flying in the air, and I can sidestep. It doesn't take any dash meter, so it's one way you can keep yourself in the air. You can also attack, and it conserves your dash meter. But if your dash meter runs out, you do have to come all the way to the ground to refill it. And if you noticed, it's not refilling. It's not enough to just be on the ground. You can't be taking any actions. This is important if you're a shoot type character. So say you shoot at Warrior of Light, you sidestep, you shoot at him, you sidestep, you shoot at him, you sidestep. If your dash meter, if you were dashing before you started that, so I ran out, now I'm sidestepping and shooting, and then I go to start dashing again, I'll realize my dash meter hasn't filled up, and I'll get these stutter dashes, and that's really bad, because you most likely started dashing to get away, and you're not going to get away, you're just going to get hit. So a big point is managing your dash meter, and remembering that you have to not be taking actions. Now, one more thing about being in the air that you just saw is the quickest and best way to lose altitude is simply to block. So keep that in mind for when you want to lose altitude. So next I'm going to talk about jumps. Speed type characters, everyone can jump off the ground, and then in the air speed type characters have 2 jumps they can perform in the air. All the other types can only jump once in the air, and there's no really, nothing changes this. So one way you can get in the air other than using up all your jumps is to run up a wall, and these trees count as walls. If you hold run and the jump button, you can go up the tree. Now that I'm airborne, I still have 2 jumps I can use. So I'll do that again. and I'll show you how you might be able to conserve your jumps for any situation where you might need them. So I'm in the air, I can dash, I can shield, I can dash some more, sidestep, I still have a jump. I can do all that stuff again, and I still have one more jump. Alright. So you want to conserve your jumps because sometimes it's the best way to dodge an attack. So Warrior of Light has his Coruscant Saber where he makes a big sword of light and swings it around his body. If I was to sidestep, I would still get hit by that. But if I have jumps, I can jump right over him. Jumping is also sometimes your only option to get away from some other HP attacks like Lightning's Crushing Blow that has a wide left to right range, and Cloud's Cross Slash. If you're too close to him, the consecutive hits will hit you, but if you can get over his head, he won't turn all the way back around while he's chasing you. So, aside from running up a wall, another way to conserve your jumps if you need to gain altitude is some characters have attacks that will give you altitude. So that's why I picked Zidane, just so I could show you this attack of his that causes him to get higher and higher. I can go all the way to the top of the stage, like so. We actually get a bit higher than this without using any of my air jumps. I only had to use my jump to get off the ground to perform this attack. Now I'll fall down. You see me, and I can still have my one jump, and I still have my other jump. And now I'm out of jumps. Alrighty. Now, there is one character who can gain altitude without jumping, and it's not that you just have 3 jumps. You have a jump on the ground, and then you have 2 jumps in the air if you're a speed. So, Kuja is also a speed type, so even though he can get in the air without using a jump, that doesn't mean he has 3 air jumps. You still only jump twice in the air. But the benefit of Kuja is he has an attack that can send him high into the air, much higher than this single jump. And I will add a quick clip of that to the end of this video so you can see that. So those are most of all your movement options. You know, you can do all these different kinds of actions out of your movement options. Now, one advanced movement option is to use your lock-on dash to change directions. So, say I am dashing at Kain, and I want to turn around immediately and dash at Warrior of Light. You might want to do that for a variety of reasons, but what's important is that you can do it by simply doing a lock-on dash and then locking onto a different person. I can go complete 180, and I can go in other directions too as long as there's someone or something to lock onto. And that's really effective because say I'm dashing at Warrior of Light and I want to avoid something, so I sidestep. I only go a couple of character lengths away, but if I lock onto Kain, I quickly travel a large distance. So that's something you want to keep in mind. And the last thing I want to show you, I saw some of the guys in Discord talking about, I think it was 7th and Wheels, Klein, and RDF, and Most. I think Most brought it up, is that you can jump cancel to perform some actions faster, and I'm talking about jump canceling your dash. So there is the period at the beginning of the dash where you can't do anything, so I'm spamming the jump button, and I can't jump before then. But as long as you're past that period, you'll jump as soon as you press the button, like so. So the reason for jump canceling is that shielding out of dash has a long delay. So I'm going to dash, and I press shield. And it takes about 1 full second for him to stop shielding, for him to start shielding. So I'll tell you when I start pressing the button, or I'll just put it in the mic so you can hear it. Now, see, that was a long wait before he started shielding. Now, right. So if you actually jump, instead of just pressing shield, since jumping happens immediately out of dash, you can jump into a block and it'll be much quicker, like so. See? It allows you to be able to shield without delay, especially if you can press the buttons really fast. One more time. And then one more time to see how slow it is without doing that. It's a very long wait. It seems insignificant, but sometimes a few seconds or even a few frames are the difference between life and death. So that's my movement tutorial. I hope it helped you guys out. The Japanese beta is opening again next weekend, and we'll have a different set of characters, so hopefully this helps you prepare for that. I have lots of other tutorials in this playlist. You should check it out. There's a lot of good topics that will help you enjoy the game. Not understanding how to play is one big hindrance to being able to enjoy, and the more you understand, the more enjoyment you'll get out of playing the game, so please check those out. If you have any questions, ask them down in the comments, and in the description there's an invite to the Dissidia community Discord group. That's the best place to go if you want to chat with us about the game or find people to team up with. There's also the Facebook Dissidia NT International group. You can join us there if you prefer Facebook over Discord. And yeah, come hang out. If you have any more questions, ask them in the comments. If you have any topics you would like me to cover, put those down in the comments as well, and I can cover those topics for you. So I'm going to add a couple of clips of Kuja's attack that gets him off the ground, and then I will see you next time.